All right, let's talk about scalp micropigmentation. This is a service that's not provided by Northwestern Hair Restoration. That's provided by our partners at Chicago Air Inc. and other artists in the city that we've developed relationships with, and we trust their work. Now, scalp micropigmentation is a cosmetic treatment for hair. It does not help hair loss itself. However, it provides a visual effect such that hair loss is reduced. A lot of times, it actually does a very good job. However, you need to know when scalp micropigmentation is the right option for you, and I will recommend it in the right case. Now, a lot of times when we have hair loss, it's not just the idea of having less hair showing, it's the color contrast between the hair and the skin that makes it very easy to see the scalp. And in scalp micropigmentation, what's done is little speckles or dots or little slits of hair are actually pigmented onto the scalp to reduce the contrast between the hair and the skin, such that when you visibly look at someone with scalp micropigmentation, their hairs look fuller. Now, in scalp micropigmentation, the pigmentation is not permanent like a tattoo. It is semi-permanent. It lasts anywhere between 2 to 5 years. And this is a good thing because if you look at tattoos that are on someone's body for a while, they tend to bleed and discolor. You don't want that happening on your scalp. You want the pigmentation to stay sharp and as original color as possible. Having said that, pigmentation does require some maintenance. As the pigmentation changes over the years, you do have to go through toning and sharpening of the dots themselves. So take that into consideration. I recommend scalp pigmentation to people who I know have stable hair coverage that will never lead to full exposure of that part of the scalp, where they can lay down this pigment and the hair above it will always look natural. They just have an enhancement of the amount of hair that's apparently in that area. In areas where hair loss is inevitable or can't be stabilized long-term, scalp pigmentation may not be the best way to do things. However, removal with a laser is always your backup. So when we get scalp pigmentation, we're really doing it for a cosmetic enhancement. And after we get done with our ACS treatments and we see the hair is responsive, we get some fullness, and there's a little bit of part line show or a little bit of crown show that you want to fix, I recommend you to people who work with our group for some time to get this treatment done. You can do a test spot and see if you like it. I have been very impressed with scalp micropigmentation can do on our hair restoration surgery side, because that's a place where I can lay down permanent hairs and I can actually just put down pigmentation to enhance the result. However, the non-surgical side, we have to make sure that the hairs that we are putting the pigment underneath have a permanence to them, so you never get exposure of the scalp and pigment alone.